Hello everyone, I'm going to show you today how to change the speedometer cable, which looks like that. This is the new one. Because the speedo doesn't work anymore, well, for a while actually, the kilometers don't evolve, so the problem is probably coming from the cable. Anyway, you can start by doing this before starting by changing the instrument cluster. It's probably coming from the cable, and sometimes even just pulling it out and popping it back in the gearbox can solve the problem, or just making sure that it can turn. So just to show you the principle of how it works, you have a square sort of rod inside here. This is the part that's plugged into the gearbox, and this is behind the speedo. If you turn, well, it works both ways. If you turn one side, the other one will turn, and it will indicate the speed and make the mileage progress. So to change it, we have to bring the cable through the engine bay into the car. It comes through just behind the gas pedal, and I think the easiest way was to, when you can see this part, I think the easiest way was to pull it inside the car, and that's what we're going to do. But first I'm going to unplug it from the gearbox. So it's down there. Let me try and give you a nice view. See, there's a black tab on it, so you have to go and grab it. I'll show you more. There's a little tab that you have to lift, and then you can just pull it out. Like so. See, it was held in position by this, so you have to press on this to liberate it, and if it doesn't really come, or if this part was broken, you have to pop this off with a screwdriver, or I think even with your finger you can. And this part was in the gearbox, so now it's loose. Yeah, I can show you the hole where it was in. Don't mind that tape. It's sort of a heavy duty duct tape I had with a special print on it, but it does the job. See that white ring over there? Yeah, that's where it goes in. So it's easy to find under the hood. Now I'm going to take this foam off. That's why I put the tape on it, because the foam is all coming apart. Before you pull the cable in, make sure you get this piece off, because you'll need it on the new cable. Now, to have a better access in here, we have a couple of screws here holding this panel. It's a Torx T20 bit, so just take off these two screws. And then I think it just comes down. Yeah, it just comes down like that. Alright, let's see if we can see enough in here. So you can see the cable back there, the white thing. This is where you have to unplug it from behind the speedo. You can do this by bringing your hand up where I have the flashlight. You can bring your arm up there and try and reach for it. You should be able to take it off. All you have to do is behind on the white part, you have to squeeze here and it should release it. it's the easiest way. If you don't do that, you'll have to take off the top part of the dashboard. It's not complicated. There are a few screws here. I think they are Torx 20 as well. So there's one screw there. There are 3 up here and another one on the side. And then you'll have, this will come off. You will have 2 very visible screws up here on top of the cluster, instrument cluster, and 2 others which you have to take off from underneath. It's hard to show you because they're in a sort of dark spot, but they're just up there, and they hold the bottom of the instrument cluster. So that's another way to remove all this. So I can fairly easily reach up there, unplug it, and on this one there's a wire connected to it, and it's plugged in here. I really don't know what the point of this is. There isn't this thing on the new one, and I haven't found it on internet either, so I don't know. This must be the original cable. It had this on it, and I'm not sure it is really useful. So I'm bringing it down. Now I have this part, and you can see where it goes. It's just over there. See this rubber part? So I'm going to pull firmly on that to bring it in. Like so. Now I have the cable. There are, I think, 2 different lengths of cable, so make sure you have the right ear. This is a Clio from '96, and the cable is not exactly the same, but the same length. So it should fit nicely. Here's the thing I was telling you about, this wire. It was on this thing. I really don't know what the point of this is. I don't know. So now, reverse thing. I'm going to bring this back towards, try and see how it went, where it went exactly behind all this. The cable goes above the pedals, so just make sure you put it through as you can, and then bring the cable back over where it was, so that there is no unusual tension on it. Just putting it back through the hole over there. With 2 hands it's a lot easier, you'll see. Make sure you put this rubber part through it, which will seal the space between the engine bay and the inside of your car. I'm having a bit of trouble plugging it back in behind the speedo, so I'm going to take off the dashboard to have a better access, to be able to press on that white part of the cable. So I took off the screws that I told you about. There are 5, and then the top part of the dash should come towards you, like so. And then, see, I didn't lie. There are 2 more screws here. And the 2 other ones holding this part on are underneath. Make sure you keep the screws, well, see how they look, because they're not all the same size. So if you don't want to have adjustment problems, keep them in different places. See, you can move like that, but it's still stuck, well, screwed on underneath. I'll just put in my screwdriver where they are, so you can see approximately where that is. Here's one. you'll need a fairly long screwdriver, just not like a small Torx key that you'll have trouble undoing it. And the other one is, oh, you can see over there. So once you've undone those two, you'll be able to pull the cluster back. They are a little bit longer than the top ones, so make sure you keep them for the bottom, and then you can take this off. So if your instrument cluster was the problem, that's how you replace it. Then you will just have to unplug all the wires, and this is where I'm having trouble plugging in this white part behind the instrument cluster, because from when I put my arm from underneath, I can't press on that and push it in. I just don't have enough strength with the position I was in, so I'm going to use both my hands, and I should be able to pop it back in. And once it's plugged back in, you can put it back on into the gearbox. But first, make sure you put back this thing, which will lock it in place. You can't really get it wrong. Put it in this groove here. It should just pop in like that. Now it went behind the coolant hose and back into the hole I showed you earlier on. Push it all the way in and make sure it can't come out again by locking it with the little black tab. Alright, if you pull firmly onto it and it doesn't come out, it's good. So I've done a little test drive, and as you can see, the first numbers, like, it's just between 5 and 6, so it is working again. But I've noticed another problem. The part with the numbers written printed on, it's sort of slightly warped, and the needle, actually the black part of the needle, but the part that's really stuck to, well, right against the printed part, is slowed down at a certain stage because of the warping. I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to say. And you have to tap on the window here to make it go back down. So that's another problem. The instrument cluster itself has a problem because of its age, probably. So it could be another issue if the replacement of the cable doesn't solve it. It could come from that. So yeah, just wanted to tell you that. Apart from that, anyone can do it. It is easier, even if it doesn't seem so, to take off this whole thing and to have access behind the instrument cluster. Otherwise you can manage by going underneath, but it really isn't much of a hassle taking off a few screws on top. Alright, I hope it helped you out, at least to see if you feel comfortable with trying to fix this yourself, but you should be able to. I'll see you next time in another video. Hope it will go well for you.